Hey, this is Jeff Mack with Mac Music Tech. I actually want to show you a couple of things you may not have been aware of in Pro Tools. One of the things that constantly amazes me is how people will continually do things the hard way in Pro Tools. So I spend a lot of time setting up mixers and monitoring things, moving things around, changing things so that they're lined up just like I like them. But one of the things that I find is I almost always have to change something on the fly while I'm working. So in this particular session, I have got a range of drums, some guitars, a mandolin, some organs, and I want to start dropping in either sends or effects. I can certainly go here and select the same plugin multiple times and drop it. It's not terribly efficient to do it individually. I can do a couple of things with some modifier keys. If I select the Option key, I can drag and drop copies, which may be slightly quicker. But you may not be aware, if you hold Option when I instantiate something, it will actually put it on every visible track. So this is something where I've dropped an EQ on every channel in the mixer. If I wanted to apply a send to every channel on the mixer, I could do exactly the same thing. So it's a very quick way to get in there and either take a bunch of processes out or drop a bunch of processes in. But it's not always the most convenient to drop them all on every single track. And that is the only option that the Option key gives you. Now within Pro Tools, you do have the ability to hide tracks. So let's say I didn't want to put those EQs on my acoustic guitar and mandolin. If I hide them with my track shows, I've got the ability to move those things around. When I apply that effect to all of those tracks, it will only show up on the ones that were visible at the time. So if I now go back and show my acoustic guitar and mandolins, you can see they don't have EQ on them. Well, this is pretty powerful if you've created groups. It's not always the most useful thing, especially when we look at the way some other workstations do things. So it is interesting to know that you can also do something similar to the way Logic and Cubase run things. If I select multiple channels, I've just used Command to select discontiguous channels, and I want to go in here and apply that send to just those tracks that I've selected. If I were to hold Option, it would apply it to everything. Watch what happens if I hit Option and Shift as I apply this bus. Only applies it to the selected tracks. While that may not be great for sends, think about how cool that is for gates. I want to drop gates on just a couple of different tracks, but I don't want to have to drop them individually. Let's actually look at, I want to have a gate on my kick. I want to have a gate on my snare. I don't want to have gates on the overheads. I probably don't want to have it on any of these, but let's say just for grins, I want to have that gate on the acoustic guitar as well. Again, if I hold Shift and Option and I select my gate plugin, it will only apply it to those particular channels that I've got selected. Option is also a great thing if I'm trying to do multiple things. So for instance, if I have used the Shift key to open up multiple processes so that I can look at different things at the same time, I can certainly close these individually, but if I hold Option while clicking on them, they all close at the same time. The last thing I'll leave you with, you may not think about this, but for instance, if I'm filtering low frequency out of a bunch of open mics, let's say I'm knocking everything below 92 Hertz out because it's high-end stuff, odds are I probably want to do that to all of the similar instruments. If I Option click and drag those processes, it will make a copy with the exact same settings. So you can see I've got no filters, but watch this. I'm going to drag and drop that there. Now when I look at it, it has copied that 92.3 Hertz low cut on the track that I drug it over to. So, man, key commands can really shorten your time that you're investing in something if you really get to know them. But if you just learn Option for doing multiple things at a time, it can do some very slick things. I can turn off all those sends at the same time if I have them selected. boom, they're gone. So hopefully that's useful. Hopefully that will speed up your production a little bit. Been great talking to you. Thanks for tuning in to Mac Music Tech. Talk to you soon.